Hi, welcome to the Aromatic Pipe, where we talk about the art and pleasure of smoking aromatic pipe tobacco. I'm Steve. It's been a while since I spoke to you all, but there's one or two subjects I never talked about before, so maybe you followed my videos and found them helpful, and if so, I might give you another hint or two here. So today we're going to talk about cleaning your pipe. Maybe you've smoked aromatic pipe tobacco for a little bit and you've noticed that you get an acrid taste sometimes after a while, where things build up in there and you start getting the kind of a yuck taste going on. I'm not sure what that's all about, what the leftovers are that cause that, but I can give you the solution. So when you clean your pipes, we're going to need a few things. First of all, of course, the pipe that you're going to clean, and I just smoked this one a little while ago, so it's probably as dirty, and it's going to show you as much as possible. You're going to need some pipe cleaners, and I like these fuzzy ones for this, and this has a narrower end on one end and a big fluffy end on the other. That'll help you get a lot of the moisture and stuff out of there, especially if you've just smoked the pipe. A good pipe tool, and especially in this case, you're going to need one with a decent scoop on it, kind of thing, to make sure you get whatever dottle or whatever might have been left behind, just to make sure you don't have anything down there festering. And I have a little squirt bottle. It's got an eyedropper in it. I got this one. It had beard oil in it originally, and I took the wrapper and washed it and everything. And what I have in here is some whiskey or bourbon, is what I prefer to use. Some people go ahead and use isopropyl alcohol or vodka or whatever. I prefer to use a whiskey, and I use a scotch that I drink. I find it helpful because that's what's really going to help cut through all that nasty stuff that you're tasting. So let's take a look at what you need to do. The one thing I forgot to mention is you're going to need something to protect the table here. I find it's a good use for some of these catalogs that you might get by now if you buy stuff online. So I have this catalog of pipes and cigars that I'm using. Because you may get a little whiskey in that you don't want to get on a wood table or anything else like that. So you're going to take your pipe cleaner and you're going to stick that all the way through, right? So I put it in the thick end if it'll fit. Now sometimes the pipes are narrow and you can't get that end in. In that case, I use the other end. So this one I just smoked, so you can see there's some significant stuff that's coming on there. You kind of want to get that as clean as possible. So go ahead and use both ends in this case to get as much of that out as you can, right? And you kind of want to keep doing that until it's clean. So I'll use another cleaner. I know that a lot of people use pipe cleaners for all sorts of craft projects and everything, but this is actually what they were originally intended for. So you're just going to work that back and forth a little bit, let it set a little bit. Some people leave a pipe cleaner in the pipe. I tend to let them kind of dry out. I find out that they dry out better if I just don't leave one in there. And then I go back later and I keep working it till it's clean. Sometimes if it builds up in there, it does help to do them like right after you smoke them. You end up getting more of the stuff out of there. You can see it's just about clean now. I'll go ahead and use a third one just to make sure I got this one good and clean. That one bent on me. You kind of want to hold it right here by the mouthpiece is where it's stiffest, so it doesn't bend up on you like that. Run it all the way down in till you see the end in, let me see, it's over here. So you see the end come through into the bowl there. If you look down, you can see the end peek through in the bowl. You really don't want to bash it against the other side of the bowl there. And you see that's pretty clean. So at that point, I take my little bottle of whiskey, and I go ahead and take another pipe cleaner and just dip the end down a little bit. So you get the end wet. And then you want to hold the pipe so that it's tilted down so that you don't get the whiskey onto the wood. And you run that pipe cleaner all the way through again till you see the end in the bowl. And you work it back and forth a little bit. And you pull that out. You might get a little more stuff, but that's really okay. Okay, then what I tend to do is take this wet thing that's been run through it, and I go ahead and run it around the bowl once. Because, you know, you're getting it in the cake there, what they call the cake, around the edge of the bowl. Sometimes what I do is I'll take that eyedropper and put some on the thing like this. So I'll take that eyedropper, put a little bit of whiskey on that. And then I go ahead and run that down and wipe it around the bottom. Now what that whiskey is going to do is it's going to counteract all that acrid tasting stuff down there. You get that, right? And then I set that pipe up in a pipe holder or a cabinet or wherever you're going to keep your pipes and let it dry out for a while. And you find that when you go back to smoke that pipe, it's back to being sweet. Now, there's a lot of people who would tell you about the salt treatment. I personally have never had to do that. I found that this works out pretty well. You try to keep the whiskey, the alcohol off of the wood as much as possible, keep it down in the bowl and in the thing. You can take the pipe apart, you know, and clean this as well. It might be helpful to clean off especially this end here. But I find that oftentimes, most of the time I don't bother to do that, especially if you got a pipe that fits together pretty well. I just go ahead and just run it down through there and get a pipe. And then you have a nice clean pipe. It's going to smoke much better for you. You're not going to get that acrid taste anymore. It's going to counteract all that from whatever was in the pipe tobacco, the casing that leaves that taste behind. And then you have a good smoke. So I hope this helps you if you've been having that problem. And I hope you'll hit a like down there and take a look at my other videos if you haven't already. Give you a good idea of some ways to approach smoking aromatic pipe tobacco in your pipe and maybe avoid some of those problems. Some of these pipe tobaccos are worse than others. If you have a continuing problem, you can also use pipe tobacco. Like I use a lot of the Cavendish. Like I almost use pure Cavendish a lot of times, and that does create more of a problem than if you use some of the ones that have more burley in them or something else along with the black Cavendish to kind of cut that a little bit and make the mixture a little drier. So however that works for you, whatever works for you, go with that. But I hope this helps. God bless you all, and I hope to see you next time on the Aromatic Pipe. Bye.